Hi, I'm Ujjwal. I'm a lead architect with Microsoft Technology Center, and I lead emerging tech, which includes metaverse, quantum computing, robotics, and sustainability. I'm based in Singapore, and thanks for inviting us to talk about metaverse for modern workplace today. Let me start quickly with what our narrative for metaverse is. And before I do that, I will first take a quick step back when we talk about computing paradigms, right? Essentially, there has been a major shift in the way we have been talking about computing, what it is today, how it is affecting our lives. And we have seen a massive shift every 10 to 20 years. Personal computing have become possible in the late 70s and early 80s, and when massive room-sized machines, mainframes shrunk over to something which could be reasonably fit in our home offices and work cubicles. And then came the rise of internet, which was around mid 90s, possibly making us to connect with each other and then be able to have a long distances information sharing over the internet. Then the last part of it came with smartphones, where we were able to leverage the necessity of cloud infrastructure and make the mobile computing truly possible with parity to location-based computing. Now, this new computing paradigm don't replace old ones, but rather stack like building blocks, redefining the tech that came before and the role it has in our life today. In the similar way, the smartphone did not eradicate the personal computer, but really serves the different role in our lives. So put together all of this, what we see is a new shift coming in the last decade, especially with the last couple of years coming in with a shift towards a hybrid work, especially because of the COVID. But at the same point of time, the cloud computing led to what we call as Internet of Things, essentially where we were having more compute and happen to have those sensors running on premise connected together to talk to each other with diagnostics and devices coming into picture. The rise of artificial intelligence has also helped in shifting the manual tasks like transactions and translations related into automated systems. And in the meantime, online gaming, for example, has helped friends, families, and communities to stay connected and wherever they are, through a mutually enjoyed interface and unlock this through their most creative and in a competitive selves as well. Now, these trends have been developing and maturing on their own timetable for years. But the explosion of this hybrid work and modern work has acted as an accelerant, throwing the fuel onto the fire and demonstrating a highly acute need for a computing paradigm that is immersive, straddles work and plays context together, and takes the place of in-person interaction when an in-person interaction is not possible. So comes the new evolution, and that is metaverse. Now, the question of what we hear is why it is now and why, right? So, key thing about let's take the narrative of Microsoft here. From a metaverse perspective, metaverse is a set of technology that allows for a persistent digital representation connected to all the aspects of real world, like people, places, and things and processes. This is our definition. This is Microsoft definition of metaverse. While this paradigm is it in nation stage, this is specific enough to address the metaverse experiences and what we seek to be able to replicate the remaining broad enough scenarios around people, places, things, and processes and accommodate a wide range of experiences with a vast majority which has not even been conceived yet. So today I'll be talking about more focused on metaverse in modern workplace, but at the same point of time, I wanted to also explain the building blocks of what we are looking at. So let's look at under the hood scenarios of metaverse capabilities. And there are four key scenarios which we will look into. First of all, interact. And when we talk about being interactive, it can be experienced in different mediums, right? We can interact in different scenarios. When we talk about track the past, analyze, and predict, simulate. This is about the computable resources, right? Essentially, which we can query, which can analyze, simulate, automate, multiple of those use cases and scenarios. Then comes the modeling part of it, which is model and monitor, which is something which can be described, reflected over, persisted, and loaded upon, right, across different systems. And then last but not least is about synchronization. Now, this is critical. This is between physical and digital, physical systems coming in interaction with the digital human and or things coming together, right? Imagine this where two or more people interact with the same object, which is in digital world, and it could be person sitting in physical world or the other person sitting in the digital world being interacting from some other part of the globe. Now, this is a new layer of infrastructure stack that gives us the digital and the physical world converge together, the the ability to interact and bring up the enterprise metaverse. Now, the enterprise metaverse would what brings together a lot of things which is on the right hand side from a technology perspective. Anything from sensors and edges, devices and equipments coming together with IoT, digital twin, and then the ability to map and work together through navigation internally and externally in indoor and outdoor environments, to analytics, which is basically applying AI into things like autonomous systems. Then the ability to provide the citizen developers to interact with this whole system so far through the low code, no code platform like Power Platform. And then the visual layer, which is coming in from a mixed reality perspective, HoloLens as a device, but also the platform SDK, which is Mesh, which enables both the devices like HoloLens, mixed reality devices, but also augmented reality and 2D devices running Mesh on Teams or CRM systems connected together for training and learning purposes. So I will be going through all of this quickly in next 10 minutes or so. Let's look at the mesh scenarios, right? So when we see Microsoft Mesh, it's a key element to unlock all the experiences metaverse. With Mesh, we are able to bring in immersive experiences for the frontline workers or to the broader audiences. Mesh is going to be enabling enterprises and creators to build immersive experiences for internal users, which is employee, as well as engage external customers and build thriving communities. So let's look at the key scenario of the mesh environment. Now, when we talk about metaverse and modern workplace, here we are looking at three important things, which is about presence, experiencing together, and connect from anywhere. Now, mesh enables presence and shared experiences from anywhere, right? Essentially, mesh brings the digital to the real world, and it enables this immersive experience and enhances the connection with other across devices. So you will have the ability to create, consume, and collaborate and experience together with mesh. On top of it, you will also like to get this experience of feeling the presence, connecting with new depth and dimension with your co-workers in the modern workplace scenario. So engaging with eye contact, facial expressions, and gestures. Your personality shines as a technology fades away in this case. So things like immersive presence through avatars and holoportation, which is about bringing somebody from an external world or external location into the physical location. So people who are not in present in the same room acts and behaves with objects which may or may not be present in the same room in a digital or physical format work together, right? And this is where the capability comes in with this photorealistic kind of expression built in with mesh. Additionally, it's about experiencing together. So digital intelligence comes to real world where we can see, share, and collaborate on the persistent 3D content, which in this case is an example of a car, where we move through your world and get relevant digital information when wherever you need it. So this fluidity accelerates decision making and speed up the problem solving scenarios for us, especially in simulation scenarios. And then we are also talking about connecting from anywhere. Now, in this case, we enjoy the freedom to access mesh on HoloLens, but also on VR devices and also on mobile phones or tablets and PCs. What it means is that you're not only restricted to mixed reality devices, but you can also work on virtual reality and also on 2D screens running 3D examples. Now, going forward, I wanted to explain quickly about the different use cases and scenarios in modern workplace. When we talk about mesh and metaverse overall, what we envision is that organization enables this immersive experience for both employers and their customers. When we talk about employers, from an immersive meeting to product reviews, involving 3D content, uh, to have meetups, also happy hours, for example, right? Scaling large scale town halls where you would want to have events and be able to share information about each other. It could be connecting to each other outside in a world which may not be confined with 3D walls or four walls, right? Be able to share those information with each other in a connected and shared way where you feel that presence. Hybrid work is on the top of mind of many organizations. When you talk about modern workplace, it's for enterprises, leaders are looking for a way to sustain their unique culture and enable social connections in this new paradigm. So when we talk about mesh and metaverse, basically mesh is a key pillar of metaverse which will enable the hybrid work. But at the same point of time, thinks about teams, things like connecting with each other on two-dimensional connections would continue to work on using the standard laptops and PCs. Now, organizations can also leverage the metaverse to engage external audiences in a modern workplace, such as customers or fans through virtual stores or events and conferences. So there are many scenarios where we conduct large events, virtual conferences. There could be meetups which we conduct, and all of this could be enabled again through the mesh and Teams and metaverse platform I was talking about. Now, specifically, when we talk about the metaverse with Teams enablement, Mesh is going to be playing a key role here. Now, Mesh for Teams will enable new experiences. One of the key things I wanted to highlight here is about the platform itself. It's under development, and we are going to be announcing the preview features soon. At the same point of time, Mesh for Teams has been announced last year, and then in the Build conference in May this year, we went ahead and added some videos. So I'm going to share some of those today with you. One of the ad- features which like a lot is about personalized avatars. And these avatars are not only giving you the ability to be present in the meeting without turning on the camera, but also the flexibility or choice to get away with the video fatigue. You basically can turn on the camera, but the camera will capture your actions, which will be translated back to your expressive avatars to showcase those gestures or to replicate your eye movements, facial gestures, and so on in this immersive world. The mesh for Teams also integrates with Azure Active Directory and M365 modern work M365 integration, which basically supports the security privacy layer, which is critical for PC and mobile devices and also head-mounted displays to make sure that you can quickly adopt and deploy at scale and a platform that will meet your needs for the future. On the right-hand side of this slide, I also wanted to highlight about this immersive spaces. This is the ability to bring people, your co-workers, in the space where you want to work together. It may not need to confine again within the four walls or the boundaries. You can actually have this meeting on the moon or anywhere else in the part of the galaxy or universe. The key thing about this platform is that you can enjoy working with people who you like to work with in this new immersive world. With the examples, I wanted to bring forth a quick scenario of how this will work together. So this is a physical human being interacting with the camera and the other person turned on with avatar onto the mesh for using mesh for Teams with the expression which works together seamlessly. Here is a quick video I wanted to play to show the collaboration in the modern workplace, where you can talk about the goals, targets, and so on. So whiteboarding happening with people across who may be sitting across the globe, not in the same room. Now, not everybody is going to be wearing a VR device or a HoloLens. And for this kind of scenario, just wanted to give you a view of the desktop scenario as well. So you can see that the same set of people can interact with people on wearing nothing but just a standard camera and a Surface device or a tablet or a PC, or even a phone for that matter. As you can see that this immersive experience is inclusive in nature and can be joined using PC with a complete view to navigate around this immersive world space and provide an unhindered view of the whiteboard and meetings and interactions. So presence in this case is being able to see what others can see, but also immersive capabilities is going to be embedded directly into Teams to enable this modern workplace with Mesh. One of the key feature I wanted to demonstrate about the upcoming scenarios and from the product itself is the Teams capability avatar. So you can customize these avatars. You can have an immersive view to schedule meetings, drop-in spaces where you can work with your colleague in a different world altogether. Now, this is something which will make it more convenient to work with from phone, laptop, desktop, and if you're wearing a HoloLens device. Now, you don't have to create immersive meetings separate for Teams. Each Teams meeting will automatically become an immersive meeting for you. And you are looking at not only head-mounted devices, but also standard devices with a natural extension to M365 workflows, security, contracts which needs to be set up with IT setups coming in as a natural extension of your existing IT workplace with the modern workplace with Metaverse. So what next you can do? I would rather recommend that you go ahead and look for the Mesh for Teams on Microsoft, and you can also get your developer teams to join the Microsoft Mixed Reality Developer Program, where there's a SDK coming up. With that, I'd like to thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to post in the chat and we will be happy to take them up and answer them later. Thank you so much.